And let's fix these so the sulfur mine gets built before the paper mills. And then after that, I think we're going to want to consider increasing our construction sector, unless this is a temporary situation where we have 2 buildings being worked on by the private sector. If that is a temporary situation, then we probably will just maybe invest in the military at that point, actually. We have allies of convenience. Just as the cultural exclusion law looked ready to topple, the petite bourgeoisie found itself rallying with the assistance of Ludwig Mieroslavsky. It now has the support it needs to pass without compromise. So we can either get... who is this? Ludwig, he is of the petite bourgeoisie, he's the agitator. If I welcome them, they're gonna get bigger. More people are buying our friggin' iron. Okay. Right now the petite bourgeoisie do have 8.2% of the clout, interestingly enough. That would only be for 5 years, which is not a huge amount of time. The alternative is the junkers get interest group attraction. I don't think I want to really do that. Either way, we do get the enactment success chance. Let's just go ahead and accept this one. We also get 1% of more German pops in Prussia become more loyalist. About to get cultural exclusion probably in the next roll. It's pretty unlikely that we won't. And Russia ended their rivalry with Great Britain. That's unfortunate. But I don't think we're at particularly bad odds with Britain. Yeah, they're just wary. They do want to antagonize us, but they're keeping their distance. Let's check to see if there's any possibility whatsoever of us getting an alliance with Russia. We need at least 400 influence. We can get that influence by pulling America's interaction, pulling the British interaction, and then now what does it say? We're at plus 16 because we're offering them an obligation. If we make them happier, they might just accept an alliance in the first place, and having them allied with me is something I would appreciate now. Their troops aren't like trash, I don't think, anymore, because they fight pretty effectively even if they don't actually have the equipment. Long term, I do want to eventually kill them, of course, but I need somebody to take Austria on with me. Doing it right now would need an obligation, or I could try to improve relationship with them. I can't because we're already at above amicable. So in terms of relationship, this is as good as it's going to get. Are there other ways for me to get an obligation? You can get an obligation as a result of agreements made during diplomatic plays, or when one country buys out another's loans. I think we may have to go ahead and just accept this and see what happens. It may not be the play to make, but it is a play. And Russia is not a bad choice for the near term. So there we go, Russia accepted our proposal for an alliance. I don't think that means that they're required to help us, of course. I think they can still decide not to do so if they'd like to. There's a revolution in Oceania, middle of nowhere. Let's actually kind of find out where that is. I actually don't have any idea. I think it's somewhere over here, most likely. Oh yes, this is Oceania, Australia, and all of the little Pacific and not the Indonesian islands, but yeah, I guess just the Pacific Islands. Anyway, we've got our alliance. Let's double check this German nationality thing. We're at 63.3%, having researched nationalism, so hopefully we shouldn't be too far away from being able to integrate the rest of the North German people. We have a significant import route for tools from the Prussian market to the Austrian market, predicted to grow to level 6. And that is with us protecting our tool supply. Yeah, we have a 15% tariff on exports. I mean, it's whatever. It's probably helping to pay for our steel tools after all. So, it is what it is. So after the paper, we want to kind of consider what we want to do. Maybe we should build one more munitions plant and just keep it subsidized. We now have cultural exclusion. So foreign cultures with nothing in common with their primary cultures are discriminated against. If they have anything in common, they're not discriminated against. It's almost multiculturalism, but not quite. So we do lose some authority, and we have less loyalists and more radicals and accepted cultures, basically. Now comes the big question of what law do we want to pursue after that. I really kind of wish I could get rid of tenant farmers, but I need to also consider the strength of the landowners at the moment. They're actually so happy with us that they're giving us plus 20% authority. This might be a very good time to do something that would be very irritating to them. We could try to push wealth voting. I think that would piss them off. Yeah, it would. Census suffrage would make them radicalized, so we could push wealth voting. Because right now you can only vote if you have land, I think. Yeah, those who own land or capital property are given a vote. We've only got a 19% chance of pulling off wealth voting. We've also got the Junkers opposing it, which means that they're going to have a pretty high stall chance. So maybe we should just disregard that for now temporarily. Other than that, I'm not sure. Well, we could try the dedicated police, but that would be even harder to pass than friggin' wealth voting, so we're not going to go with that. We do have public school, which is as good as it can get, which is awesome. We could go up to charity hospitals, but that is opposed by the industrialist. And it's not that great because it makes the church stronger as the health system gets stronger. I'd like to skip charity hospitals and go straight to private insurance if I can. I don't think we can do much else, actually. We could try colonial affairs. Colonial exploitation, 30% chance. The rural folk oppose it, and they won't go radical. If we get, like, I'd rather do resettlement instead of exploitation, because I think if you're exploiting the land, it's much more difficult to attract people to live there is the main problem. I'd really prefer to get this. Only the armed forces supports it. Right now we have the Junkers, the armed forces, the church, and the industrialists in office. The industrialists, however, do support colonial exploitation. Let's give that a try. We'll consider doing some colony stuff here in a bit. I want to check out my budget and see how it's going before I start thinking too much about that. I'm still not sure what the cost of colonizing is. Surely it must be money. Oh, there's an enact national militia political movement and an enact universal suffrage political movement. Really? Huh. I wonder. That would be insane to go from landed voting to universal suffrage. We really have to do something to switch out of monarchy, but before then, we do need more voting power. Although maybe we can do landed voting and democracy and get away with it. You know, there's no longer a legitimacy bonus in landed voting for head of state, or it's probably in monarchy, right? Yeah, monarchy has the plus 20 legitimacy from head of state. You know, I bet that we could get out of monarchy if only we could get somebody to support that. There's also a lot of opposition to it, so that would create a huge chance to have stall events. So I think we're going to have to wait for the monarchy switch later on. We're just going to have to empower voting more. But I can't do that right now. Anyway, let's keep working on the colonial exploitation. I know that we do have that movement for universal suffrage, but there's a lot of opposition to it, and now is not the time. I don't think it's going to happen. There could be like a civil war as a result, maybe, but I don't see it. I lost a general in the Army Corps, so they went straight down to a maximum of a 25 organization. I really got to keep a close eye on my generals. And it seems like you have so many of them now as well. Oh, Ottoman Empire started to take treaty port, diplomatic play against Egypt. Not sure why they would do that. I think the AI takes too many treaty ports. Anyway, let's recruit a general here. We're probably going to pick the petite bourgeoisie, although this guy does look kind of crap. You know, these things don't really matter to us, actually. Like, his popularity balances out. His character health is minus 10% overall, so he's more likely to die. But he's a diplomat, he's pious, so it's good for morale, but he doesn't kill as many people. Whereas Hakim Enger is charismatic, he gets morale recovery. He's also a defensive strategist. I do like that. I always want to pick up people that are good at specific things. He's not like an expert defensive strategist, but this is still pretty good. Alternatively, we have... Let's take Hakim. That'll make the church a bit stronger, but that's okay. And then I need a second general as well. Hey, another defensive strategist. I'll take that. I'll have them be auto-set to defend fronts. What is this adamant defense? you consume more supply to get double dug in chance and 5% more defense. Regular defense slows down the enemy advancement speed, so this is like you dig in completely, but if you lose, they're going to advance twice as fast. Alright, so if you think you can win no matter what, you can adamant. Otherwise, defending normally is the way to go with tactical retreats and stuff. I go ahead and double check all my other dudes just to make sure that they all have at least 2. And they don't have at least 2 generals. We got an offensive planner, and I definitely like to take him then. He's not particularly amazing unless they tune down the general stats in 1.5. Ooh, this guy is meticulous, so he's good at offense, defense, recovery rate, surprise maneuver chance. He's innovative, so he has a boatload of surprise maneuver chance, and that means that he would get plus 20% morale damage. He's also really good at supplies. He's got a little bit less health, but that's okay. I like this guy. And then one final one. Who's it gonna be? Maybe the traditionalist. Plus 10% command limit, minus 10% carriers offense. Carriers offense? You talking about ships, man? No, I don't think there are no carriers in Victoria 3. Don't know what that is. Let's go ahead and let's go with this August shite. Oh, the Egyptian Ottoman crisis. What is this? An event in Syria. The Ottoman Empire's attempt to take back control of the Levant from Egypt has become an international incident. Our involvement may tip the balance of power in the region. So we can say we need to keep an eye on the region, add a declared interest in Arabia, or say we have no interest in this crisis. I don't think we really care, honestly. We don't have the ships to project power across the ocean, and we're not going to get involved in some revolution in Oceania against the British. That is for sure. A colonial exploitation made it to consideration on a pretty decent pace. Hopefully we'll make it all the way through, and we got the philosophy department finished up. We have secured funding for philosophy departments in all of our institutions of higher learning. The University of Brandenburg has chosen to focus its funding on advancing Hegelian dialectics, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. So all of our universities get plus 25% university building throughput for 5 years. That means that we should stay at the max innovation cap for all 5 years at least. Although maybe it could go up more, we'll see. But that will go away eventually, so that's going to be a bit of a shock when that happens. And I probably will not remember. But hey, we'll take it. That would help our technology spread if we were receiving technology spread from people. And I'm not sure that we always are. No, we're receiving modern sewerage. Actually, we're just at our innovation cap. It is going up. Cool, we're educating the people. People keep buying our iron. Stop. This is a legitimate problem actually. So if they buy all our iron and our private industry builds more iron than we need for domestic use, if we get embargoed or we go to war with them, we're gonna have an economy shock as a result. The Ottoman Empire wants to enter into a trade agreement with us. Hell to the no. We're allied with Russia. As far as I remember. There we go. Yeah. They don't like each other, so I'm not going to do that. We got the event Monument to the King. So, a statue of King Friedrich Wilhelm von Hohenzollern was commissioned and has been suggested that it be displayed proudly in Silesia. We could say a monument worthy of the king. We get 3% prestige for 5 years, but 2% of pops in Silesia become more radical. Or we can have the Junkers become more unhappy with us. Wait, what happened to... Why are they... because we didn't do the government petition. Suddenly they're pissed off with us. Alright. I don't think doing this is the way to go. Let's allow the monument of the king. Let some Silesians get a little upset, whatever. And we have colonial enthusiasm. The news that the government intends to pass the colonial exploitation law has created great enthusiasm among those that are eager to exploit new and distant lands. We can say slow down, that's not signed yet. We get 20% enactment success chance. Or we can do plus 10% prestige for 2 years as we get a place on the world stage, as we rightfully take our place there. but in exchange we only get 10% enactment success chance, or we get plus 50% colony growth speed for 2 years and 10% enactment success chance. So issue here is we have to finish passing the law and then we start the colony. So it could take us a year, it could take us less than that time, I don't know. So I'm not sure I really want to do this last one. Let's take the given of 20%. And we don't have anybody that actually opposes this in government, I guess. I think you had to be in government to stall it, right? And the rural folk just had to take it. So colonial exploitation is going to go ahead and pass very rapidly. I suppose we could have made the argument that since there's no stall chance, we could have gone with the faster colony growth speed, but oh well. I think it's better to just get it done sooner. There is now, however, a political movement to preserve no colonial affairs, though, so now there is some stall chance, so there you go. To plot a coup, Karl Heinrich von Weilichenlatum has grown discontent with the Prussian government's institutions. This is the king, right? No, the king is King Friedrich. He is called the king. A conspiracy is forming among the Junkers to launch a coup against the government and establish autocracy. Of course. Of course. So we can accept this, and then coup progress will advance by 25%. Junkers will get 5% interest group political strength for a little while. Oh, that does decay over time. Or we can keep a close eye on him. That slows down the coup progress, but it does not get rid... Oh, it does get rid of the political group attraction and makes it negative. We'll go with the second one, of course. We don't want the Junkers doing what the Junkers can do. Hey, we've got modern sewerage for some extra infrastructure, as well as +5 max weekly construction progress. So I think that is like the limit. Yeah, the single project can progress in a single week. Awesome. I'm glad to know that you can increase that limit. Some extra land trade route capacity, less pollution effects. Is that green positive so we get less pollution, right? It's not minus 10% of reduction, right? You're not getting 10% less reduction, surely. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's move on. We've almost got those paper mills built. And then after that, right, we were talking about what we wanted to do. So we got the paper mills built soon-ish. We need to probably get that ammunition plant built. So let's take a look at where the ammunition plant is located. It's in Valley. In Aurora Valley, do we produce sulfur? No, we do not. We need lead, actually. Explosives need sulfur and paper and sulfur, but munitions plants need lead. We have 3 states with lead. We have Rhineland, my goodness, right next to the French, of course. Then we have Prussian Brunswick, and then Silesia. I think Silesia actually has sulfur as well. Alright then. I really like to get the ammunition plants built in Silesia. I think we can get Austria maybe decently rapidly. So let's go ahead, let's put that munitions plant in Silesia. It is the highest earnings predicted. We might want to do an explosives factory there at some point in time. I'm not sure the market for explosives can really handle that. Yeah, we're overproducing on explosives at the moment. I think we'll go ahead and we'll just build the munitions plant in Silesia, subsidize it, and make sure it gets built no matter what. Considering that, let's actually protect our domestic supply of ammunition. Consider that important. Though we do still have more coal mines to switch over to explosives. That is true. So we could build some more explosives as well. I'd like to go ahead and get... So we can do 80 more explosives from switching coal mines. 20 more from lead, so 100, and then 120 total with the sulfur. Every explosives, we're negative what on explosives? Negative 39, so 120, 40-ish, 80. We need 80 more explosives, so we do need 1 explosives factory, ideally in Silesia, so let's get that built. We'll adjust the order right there, and then we could also build a fertilizer plant, depending on the price of fertilizer is doing. It's actually fairly expensive. Okay, then we're short 144. So we could get away with building 2 fertilizer plants in Silesia, so I'll do that. We'll do the fertilizers, and then the explosives, and then the munitions plant. That will be a total of how much infrastructure, considering that I'm already building a bunch of paper mills as well. Paper mills are 2, so 8 from the paper mills, 6 from the fertilizer plants, 6 from these other 2, so 12 plus 8 is 20. We need at least 20 infrastructure here. We have access to an infrastructure balance of plus 27, so we're good. But I always want to fix the infrastructure problem. I always want my infrastructure being at least double digits. And let's go ahead and switch all of these over to nitroglycerin production. Even if it hurts the productivity of the mine, I'd rather have more of the resource be produced either way. Some of these we might even be able to switch over to rail transportation. Right now we have Westphalia has some railways. Their local price of transportation is actually even. See, this is the thing I'm talking about. The population, they consume a lot of transportation. So if you want to upgrade your transportation usage of, say, your iron mine, that's going to cost you 50 more, which is going to really increase the price. And transportation is specific to every state. There's no global transportation. So yeah, it's not even smarter here because it does actually hurt the mine, and we have the population available. We still have 163,000 peasants in Westphalia, so we're not going to switch over to their upgraded rail. Yeah, we have joint stock companies spreading. That does +1 max number of companies. Cool. I'd like to choose a new company if I could. That'll be interesting once we do so. The Russians are embargoing the Ottomans. That's fine. Who cares? Totally down with helping the Russians beat the crap out of the Ottomans if they go head to head. I got no problem with that. The main thing I want is for us to pop this nationalism journal so I can find out how to peacefully integrate my people. And we actually have negative authority now, probably because the Junkers used to be giving us authority. So we're going to have to decrease probably some decrees. Let's check Westphalia's infrastructure now. Yeah, we have a ton of extra infrastructure. We no longer need the decree here. So we'll take that off. We'll actually put that decree over instead on Silesia. I can't because I don't have it. The authority available. Correct. I think we're fine staying at -2. That's okay. We have field works now, so we're at plus 10% army defense. So we'll be that much more effective at holding the line. We could go for postal savings, which increases our maximum cash reserves, but I don't care much about that. That does, however, increase farmer and shopkeeper investment pool contribution, which does sound nice. Alternatively, we could grab joint stock companies to try to grab a new company. I'd have to look into what types of companies I have available. Organized sports for prestige, I'm not too sure about that. We could be the first one to get labor movement. Doing that really does risk a civil war, most likely. Could go communist. I think we ignore this for now. There's pharmaceuticals for health system investment, but we don't have a health system right now. Realism for a little bit more prestige and some production methods for the arts academies. And psychiatry for more influence, cheaper bureaucracy, population cost modifier. I'm not too interested about most of the things in society. Now, steel frame buildings, that's a 5-year research. I don't want to do that right now. I'd rather wait and focus on something in tier 2. Military-wise, I need to find out where all the special unit types are at. Yeah, so trench works is trench infantry. Shrapnel artillery is a breech loading artillery, but that is a tier 3. We have access to skirmish infantry right now. I'm not sure that we swapped our units over to skirmish infantry. Yes, we have. Alright, these dudes are skirmish infantry, very good. Let's double check that everybody is skirmish infantry. Yes, indeed they are. Okay. I think the next upgrade is trench infantry in terms of an infantry upgrade. Yeah, I don't think we're worried about upgrading unit types here. So let's just do something production-wise and get our economy building faster. Really, the game is all about the economy. We have left is a water tube boiler for reducing the amount of people that we need in our furniture manufacturers, tooling workshops. It also gets the condensing engine pump, really. Right. I forgot that they changed at the mines. So we can actually get more goods production just by using more coal and tools. Probably should have done that a little bit earlier. Let's do that next. I'm always down with more mining. Might as well strip mine the whole earth. Everything. No forest, nothing. Colonial exploitation has made it to the final stage of laws. It is really a guarantee at this point. General accused of plot. Really. August Kratz, a general associated with the rural folk, has been accused of grave disloyalty. He claims that this is nothing but a plot by subversive elements to remove a barrier to their rule. He assures us he has no knowledge, really. So we can either not take chances, put him down, the rural folk become even more unhappy. They would actually slow down our technology spread, but we don't really have very much technology spread, so I don't really care much about that. Or we can lose authority and political strength of officers for 5 years. No thanks. We ain't playing games here. Now, that was the commander, second commander of the 1st Army Corps. We're going to replace him with what? How about a woodland? Oh, you're defensive. Wait, this guy's defensive too. Let's give him woodland combat expert for more defense in forested terrain. Sounds great to me. This guy has access to reckless advance. So why does this guy not have I guess this is like specific to traits that they have. Yeah, it unlocks the following orders. Adamant defense. Pretty cool. Actually, that's pretty cool. So reckless advance makes it so that you advance faster, you have more offense, but you lose more morale, you don't recover as effectively. You have a higher chance of aggressive maneuver. And aggressive maneuver is more casualties taken but more morale damage done. And a much higher chance of blunder. So I'm not sure about reckless advance, my friend. It's cool that we have the option though, I like that. I like that the different generals have different options about how they want to handle a situation. The Sioux are going to get their butts kicked by the Americans already. So it is pretty eventful. Let's see how things are going here in Ottomans versus Egypt. So it looks like Egypt is losing that fight, and the Ottomans will probably pull that off. We're at 73.33% for the eligible countries that have nationalism, so we should hopefully have that pretty soon. Hopefully. Hey, we got colonial exploitation. I wonder how far we can reach. I haven't done a huge amount of colonization in Victoria 3. I do know that large parts of Africa have malaria, which really ruins your ability to colonize. Yeah, minus 90% colony growth speed in non-homeland states, and plus 15% mortality. We also have to declare an interest first, of course. Yeah, so we have interest. We can already interact with Austria. We could pull an interest from Danubia here. I don't think I care much about this area. So let's pull Danubia. I really don't care about that. I don't care about interacting with the Ottomans, at least for now. Kind of like to access over here in Indonesia if I can get away with it. These guys also have really bad malaria though, so that is not fun. Not fun at all. Poor old Prussia, so late to the game that there's almost nothing left. That's reasonable. That doesn't have severe malaria. We're probably going to have to go ahead and just try to headbutt our way into Africa. Alternatively, what if we did something crazy like trying to colonize Mapuche here? They got access to sulfur, coal, dyes. I do need me some dyes. I don't think I have any domestic dye. I wonder if that would piss off America if I started colonizing here. Yeah, we don't produce any dyes ourselves as far as I know. Yep, all dyes come from trade routes, so I'd like to get some dyes. And Mapuche has access to them. It does look like to get to the good stuff I had to go specifically for this province right here. The second one, and that one is not directly connected to the ocean. If I go further down, what is going on down here? Coal, sulfur, fishing, livestock, nothing really impressive. Over here on the western side we got sulfur, a little bit of gold, and that might be interesting to take. It is supposed to be Chilean one day, but I can take it myself. I think we might just want to go ahead and just headbutt Africa. I do believe that they made colonizing Africa more difficult than it was before. Are there reasons to get involved in conquering these people is a good question actually. So I could colonize and also start conquering people. I'm not sure that other great powers would get involved in that. They'd be less likely. Anyway, Susa here has not severe malaria, just regular old malaria, so it's not horrible. It's still awful, but it's not disgustingly bad. And they have dyes, which I really want, tobacco, sugar, cotton, coffee, lots of things I really want.